Not sure if you still play Halo Infinite. I do, at least. And the weapon that was released a short while ago, the Mutilator, is one of my favorite Halo weapons in, gosh, ages. Seriously, ages. This thing is really creative as a gun. It's a double-barrel shotgun with different functions. It has the standard firing mode, shooting one barrel at a time with 2 shots per reload, but rather than a zoom function, it switches into its alt-fire mode, where you fire both shots at the same time, dealing massive damage. Then, to top it all off, it has a unique melee attack. See that silly bit at the end there? That's actually a miniaturized gravity hammer, and it gives all your melee attacks a gravity knockback effect, letting you run around like a screaming toddler flailing a pool noodle if that's what you want. There's just so many ways to kill enemy players, dude. You can be boring and just use it as is. You can alt-fire them to Kingdom Come. You can do one shot and then a melee. You can do a melee and then one tap. You could shoot one guy twice if you wanted, then melee the second guy, switch to your secondary to finish him off. This gun is so damn cool that it's the star of its own mode, Mutilator Juggernaut. So the rules are this: the Juggernaut has overshields, infinite grappling hooks, and a Mutilator. And you just gotta get as many kills as you can before you die because your shields don't recharge. And whoever lands the killing blow on the Juggernaut becomes the new one. You can customize the Mutilator, you can put silly charms on it, you can make it pink, whatever you gotta do to have fun. But it got me thinking about other unique and fun Halo weapons that people often overlook. So, Halo 3 had these trip mines you could deploy. The idea was to give players the fantasy of laying down traps for incoming vehicles, right? But the mines were huge and super easy to spot. Halo 4, though, introduced the sticky detonator, and I think it pulls off that same idea way better. It fires a little sticky dart, and then this motion tracker pops out of the side of the gun to show you how close enemies are to it. And when the time's right, you just squeeze the trigger and... This thing honestly might be my favorite weapon in Halo 4. You can tag an enemy and let them run back to their squad with it, or you can set traps for incoming vehicles that are way harder to see than Halo 3's giant landmines. It's honestly kind of perfect. If one weapon were to become a staple in the series from Halo 4, I'm surprised it's not the sticky detonator, because this thing's great. One of the more underrated weapons in Halo Infinite, at least in my mind, is the Ravager. Seriously, this thing is a beast. Its primary fire launches a volley of shots that's fine, but what I think actually makes it unique to me is its crowd control potential. You can use it to flush enemies out of objectives, force them out of cover, or block off key pathways. It's also amazing in Firefight for farming XP. You just lay down fire traps where the grunts are about to spawn, or just pathways that they walk through, and then your teammates can finish off the grunts while you focus on the next batch of grunts.
Double kill. Reinforcements. Double kill.
You'll rack up assist points and XP either way. If you're trying to hit max rank in Infinite and unlock that delicious Chief Armor kit, the Ravager is one of the best tools in Firefight to keep you topping the scoreboard for XP earned. Best part? Its melee does bonus damage. I'm not going to be accepting any Ravager slander. So I'm also thinking a lot about the Void's Tear from Halo 5. Tear? Tear? Void's Tear? The standard shots subtly yank stuff towards you, like enemies or physics objects, and when you overcharge it, it shoots out a black hole that pulls everything into itself, EMPing and just damaging everything before exploding outward. Just super fun stuff. Halo 3's Brute Shot also rocks. It's got 6 shots per reload. The shots have concussive knockback abilities, which are great against pretty much everything from vehicles to enemies. The blade also does extra damage to specifically Flood-type enemies, making it one of the best anti-Flood weapons in the campaign. The Brute Shot sorta lived on in Halo Reach and Halo 4 as the concussion rifle, which isn't as charismatic as the Brute Shot, let's be honest, but it still retained the same concussive properties that make the Brute Shot so fun to just throw people around with. I like the concussion rifle too, and I wish it wasn't dunked on quite so much. Now, the focus rifle from Reach is honestly one that I think goes super unappreciated. It's a Covenant sniper that fires a continuous beam of energy. It's not like an amazing gun or anything, but in the campaign, what's nice about it is how it makes Jackal snipers a bit less deadly and offer more of a supportive role for the Covenant, stripping your shields and laying beams of suppressive fire on you. In multiplayer, it sort of feels like a long-range Sentinel Beam. It's super good at harassing enemy players, and on the Master Chief Collection, if you're playing keyboard and mouse, it's actually really deadly. Speaking of really deadly, Halo Infinite's Hydra is just a fun weapon to use, man. It's got two fire modes, standard and lock-on. The lock-on mode is solid for chasing vehicles or tagging players at a distance, but the tracking missiles, they don't hit very hard, and the slow fire rate means you can't just delete everything you see with the tracking missiles. It's best used to sort of force snipers to reposition or dump some damage into annoying vehicles, and if an enemy isn't paying attention and they're out in the open, punish them. And honestly, on days when your aim's a little bit off, having the lock-on option is a lifesaver. But the standard fire, you'd be surprised at how good it is. One missile followed by a melee is enough to kill, so it's a great close-range option if your reflexes are smart. It is kind of awkward to aim with this thing on controller, and that might be why it's slept on by the Halo community, but on PC, the Hydra is one of my favorite weapons. And this is another thing. One missile will instantly finish off any doomed vehicle, which makes it brutal against choppers and warthogs, especially since they can't strafe like ghosts or banshees. I don't know what else to say. I like the way the Halo Infinite Hydra makes me think outside the box a bit. But what about the Needler? Even the worst versions of the Needler deserve our love and respect, in my opinion. As the Halo player base gets sharper, their reflexes faster, gun skill tighter. I've seen a lot of people poo-poo the Needler, specifically the Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 versions, and I'm just not going to stand for it. Because the Needler is a great little brother or little sister gun. Back when I was a teenager, I'd babysit for some quick cash, and the neighbors' kids were genuinely terrible at aiming, almost like their brains were underdeveloped or something. For them, the Needler was a godsend. They could just vaguely fire in the direction of a grunt or jackal, and the needles would just slowly drift towards whatever target they wanted. It gave them a way to feel powerful without needing perfect aim. I don't think the Needler ever needs to be a competitively viable weapon or even stack up against top-tier Halo weapons. It just needs to be its cute, simple little self. Easy for young Halo players in training to use and laugh hysterically at when grunts turn into violent pink mists. Sometimes us Halo veterans take the weapons of Halo too darn seriously, and we forget about the little guys. I like when Halo has unusual or unconventional weapons. Sometimes I even daydream my own weapons. For the longest time, I've had this idea for a turret-style weapon, sort of like a missile pod, but one that fires harpoons that anchor things to the ground or maybe create tripwires that could trip up vehicles. The idea came to me when playing Halo 3, and I thought about how cool it would be to sort of wrestle a scarab to the ground by tethering its legs to the earth, like it was a massive, terrifying beast we were taking down, giving us just enough time to board and destroy it before it snapped the ropes and got back up. While traditional weapon roles like battle rifles or SMGs or shotguns are good to have and ensure that Halo games have strong competitive cores, I think the real bread and butter comes from the weapons that don't really fit cleanly into a category. Weapons that sort of exist as their own thing, living by their own weird rules, and adding flavor to any Halo game's weapon sandbox to make sure things stay fresh, whether that's in the hands of a player or an enemy AI, or even a child. It's the stuff that makes Halo games fun. A shotgun is a shotgun, sure, but what's a Sentinel Beam? Why, it's just a Sentinel Beam. What's the Needler? It's just a Needler. What's the point I'm trying to make? I'll leave that for you to find out.